Josephine, Desire, Ambition, Napoleon, by Kate Williams, read by Sandra Duncan. Prologue, 1st of December 1804. It was the most important night of Josephine's life. Parisians and men and women from all over France were taking their positions along the route in the darkness. Dignitaries from across the world had arrived, the gold coaches were prepared, and the imperial robes were hanging ready for the supreme hero. The next day, Napoleon was to be crowned Emperor of France and all its territories. The little Corsican soldier would be His Imperial Majesty. All France thought Josephine overwhelmed with happiness, but inside the grand palace of the Tuileries, she was afraid. She was about to pull off the most audacious plan of her life. Everything was riding on how she conducted herself in what would be the most important test of her life so far. If she succeeded, she would be crowned Empress, first woman of the world, and the consort of the greatest man the century would ever see. But if she failed, she would be condemned to disgrace, humiliation, and poverty. She was 40. She had been Napoleon's wife for 8 years, and he was talking of annulling their marriage. Napoleon had once been obsessed by his little Creole, but he mourned the lack of an heir, and now that he was the ruler, every woman in the empire was offering herself to him. When Josephine fell into jealous rages, he left the room, bored by her tears. And as he knew, because he had married her in a civil ceremony, she would not be too difficult to put aside. The Imperial Majesty, so decisive on everything, was unsure about his Empress. His family whispered to him that marrying a foreign princess would boost his grandeur and produce an heir. And yet Josephine was very popular with the French people, and Napoleon saw her as his good luck charm. He was also a deeply loyal man. "How can I put away this excellent woman just because I am becoming great?" he fretted. Perhaps, he thought, he would wait until after he was crowned. Then he made one crucial mistake. He confided his concerns to Josephine. She responded calmly. Then she plotted. Pope Pius VII and his entourage were visiting, and Napoleon had asked Josephine to act as hostess. She was a celebrated diplomat, and he was proud of her graceful, charming ways. She seized the opportunity to win Pius over to her side. By the 1st of December, the night before the coronation, Josephine was ready to strike. She begged the Pope for a private audience, and assumed her prettiest, gentlest manner. She confided to him that she felt quite distraught, violently worried about her soul, and only he could help her. She simply had to tell him her secret. The marriage had only been a civil union, and so they were living in sin in the eyes of God. She was afraid, she told him, so desperately afraid, that the Emperor was destined for hell. Pius was prompted to action by her tears and gently whispered worries. He marched straight to the Emperor and blustered that he refused to crown a sinful man. Declaring himself shocked that His Imperial Majesty had not confessed the truth to him, he announced that he must be immediately married in a religious ceremony. Napoleon pleaded and bullied, but Pius would not relent. The imperial pair must be united by a priest, or he would refuse to conduct the coronation. Josephine sat demurely and waited for her plan to succeed. She had lingered until the very last minute to tell Pius, so that Napoleon did not have the time to argue the Pope into a compromise. The Supreme Emperor was forced into a corner. Either he agreed to marry, or the coronation would be delayed. Finally, grudgingly, he gave in. A makeshift altar was created in his study, and the couple was secretly married that evening by one of Pius's cardinals. Napoleon kicked and fumed, while Josephine smiled. She had won. She was Napoleon's wife.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?